What's happening, TikTok? What's good? Let me ask you something. When you finish a trading session, what's the first thing you look at? Is it the quality of your decision, your patience, execution? Is it whether the market actually presented enough evidence to justify your participation? Or do you immediately look at the money? How much did I make? How much did I lose? How close am I to passing this eval? How much more do I need before I can request a payout? Here's the deal. If money is the only thing you measure, you're going to misunderstand your own development because trading results can lie to you. That's right. Trading results can send you off. You can make money from a terrible decision. You can lose money after making a disciplined decision. And if you cannot separate the quality of your execution from the financial outcome, you will keep reinforcing the wrong behavior. Welcome to ICCLAB. I'm Taylor, and here we don't predict gold. We wait for gold to prove itself through indication, correction, and continuation. Today, I want to talk to you about why you need to stop thinking about the money. Start thinking about the skill. Money can reward bad behavior. This is one of the most dangerous things about trading. The market will occasionally pay you for doing something stupid. You can get paid sometime for doing the dumbest shit. You can enter before your confirmation. Price moves in your direction. You risk too much. The trade wins. Boom. You chase a candle. The candle keeps running. You ignore structure. Price reaches your target anyway. Now you walk away thinking, shit, I knew it. But you didn't know it. You guessed correctly. The gamble paid off. And because the guess produced money, your brain wants to repeat the behavior. That winning trade may have made your account slightly larger, but it also made you a worse trader. It taught you that patience was unnecessary. It taught you that evidence was optional. It taught you that your feelings could be trusted. Eventually, the market collects the cost of that lesson. And when it does, traders usually blame their stop loss, the broker, manipulation, volatility, or just plain bad luck. They rarely blame the undisciplined behavior that earlier prophets encouraged. That's why money cannot be your only measurement. A losing trade can still represent progress. So let's look at the opposite situation. Let's look at the opposite side of this coin. You identify meaningful correction. The correction preserves the market's directional claim. Continuation provides confirmation. Your entry is defined, your failure level is clear, your risk is controlled, you execute according to your rules, and the trade loses. Was that automatically a bad trade? Hell no. A valid setup is not a promise. Let me say that again. A valid setup is not a promise. Evidence improves the quality of your decision. It does not eliminate uncertainty. If you followed your process and accepted a properly managed loss, that trade may represent more development than a random winner ever could. You demonstrated patience. You respected risk. You waited for the market to earn your participation. In other words, you waited for the market to confess. You executed without needing certainty. That's the skill. That's the skill. The financial result was negative, but the behavioral result was positive. And over a meaningful sample of trades, repeatable skills matter more than outcome of any single position. So stop asking what you can make. Most developing traders are asking questions that their current skill level just can't answer. How much can I make every week? When can I quit my job? Shit, never. How quickly can I pass a prop firm evaluation? How many payouts can I collect this year? Now, believe me, I understand why those questions are attractive. The money represents freedom. It represents relief. It represents the possibility of changing your life. But focusing on the reward before developing the ability creates desperation. Now you need the market to produce money today. You need this setup to work. You need to recover yesterday's losses. You need to hit a certain number before the week ends. Let me say something. Whenever you need, you're in trouble. Whenever you need the market to do some shit for you, yeah, you're in trouble. Shouldn't trade. The moment you need money from the market, your perception becomes compromised. Ordinary movement starts looking like opportunity. Incomplete structure starts looking like opportunity. Incomplete structure starts looking tradable. A weak indication becomes good enough. A shallow pause becomes a correction, and a single candle becomes a continuation. You stop reading the evidence and start manufacturing permission. Not because the setup became better, but because you want the outcome too badly. Remember this. Whenever you look at the market or look at your charts or look at a trade or a setup and say, I need this to work, you're in deep doo-doo. What I want you to do is ask better questions. Instead of asking, how much did I make? Ask, did I execute correctly? Bruce Lee, and you'll hear me talk about this in a lot more videos, but he always said, I don't fear the man who can throw 10,000 different kicks. I fear the man who can throw that same kick 10,000 times. Excuse me. That man is dangerous. If you can execute correctly, you'll come out on top. Instead of asking how many trades did I take, ask this instead. How many qualified opportunities did the market actually provide? How many qualified opportunities did the market actually provide? Instead of asking how quickly can I pass this eval, ask can I follow the same process for 30 sessions without abandoning it, without deviating from it? Instead of asking can trading replace my income, ask instead, have I developed a repeatable skill that deserves to produce income? See, these are the important questions you need to ask yourself. And after every session, examine the things you can actually control. Did you identify meaningful highs and lows? Did the indication cause structural damage? These are things you can control. Did the correction preserve that damage? Did continuation demonstrate acceptance? Did you enter because the evidence was complete or because you were impatient? Because you needed the market to do something? Was your failure level based on structure? Did you respect risk? Did you follow your plan after entering? Can you explain the trade clearly before you place it? Those questions develop a trader. Your daily profit and loss statement only reports what happened financially. It does not tell you whether you are improving. So build one repeatable skill. You do not need to trade every market. You do not need 12 strategies. You do not need to take 5 trades daily. You need one clear process. One clear process that you understand deeply enough to execute consistently, day in and day out, time and time again. For me and for you, that process should be ICC. Indication, correction, continuation. Indication proposes a directional claim. Correction challenges that claim. Continuation confirms whether the market has accepted it. If the sequence is incomplete, the evidence is incomplete. Then you don't have proof. No proof, no trade. So if the evidence is incomplete, the market has not earned your participation. The goal is not to find more trades. The goal is to become exceptionally good at recognizing when a legitimate trade exists and disciplined enough to do nothing when it does not. That is the real skill. That is the development that we are seeking. So your first goal should be consistency of behavior. Before demanding consistent profits, produce consistent behavior. Can you consistently be patient and wait for an A+ setup? Can you consistently control risk? Can you consistently reject incomplete setups? Can you consistently accept a loss without immediately trying to recover it? Revenge trading. Can you consistently follow your process when you are bored, frustrated, excited, or afraid? Because consistency in trading does not begin with money, it begins with behavior. Financial consistency is the eventual expression of disciplined decisions repeated over time. You cannot control what gold does after you enter, but you can control what evidence you require before entering. You can control your position size. You can control your failure level. You can control whether you chase. You can control whether you respect your rules. That is the work. That is the discipline. That is the job. The money is the receipt. A carpenter does not become skilled by staring at the invoice. I like that. I didn't write it, but I had read it and I liked it. A surgeon does not develop ability by thinking about the paycheck during the operation. And a trader does not become professional by obsessing over payout. The payout is evidence that a valuable skill has been applied successfully over time. It is the receipt, but the skill is the product. Too many traders want to print the receipt before they have built the product. They want professional income without professional execution. Not going to happen. They want consistency without repetition. They want confidence without competence. They want the reward before completing the work required to deserve it. Trading does not care how badly you want or need the money. It responds to the quality of your decisions. So stop checking your progress exclusively through your account balance. Measure your patience. Measure your discipline. Measure the quality of your analysis. Measure your adherence to risk. Measure how often you refused an unproven trade. Measure whether your process is becoming clearer, simpler, and more repeatable. Build the skill until the money no longer depends on guessing. Build this discipline until waiting feels like part of trading, not an interruption to it. Build the process until you can explain exactly why you entered, what would prove you wrong, and what evidence must appear before you participate. Stop trying to get paid like a professional before you can execute like one. Did you hear me? Stop trying to get paid like a professional before you can execute like one. The money is the receipt, the skill is the product. Develop the product. Build the product first. If you want to learn how to trade gold through evidence instead of prediction, I need you to join my ICCLAB. Ooh, I said I want. No indication, no trade. No continuation, no proof. No proof, no trade. Remember, if it ain't ICC, it ain't a trade. Thanks for hanging out.